Okay, let's talk AI. For what feels like an eternity in this space, one name has been king: NVIDIA. I mean, their GPUs have powered literally everything. They are the engine of this revolution. But, while everyone's been watching NVIDIA, another giant has been quietly building a weapon in the background. And now, it looks like they're finally ready to make a play for the crown.
And that right there is the huge question we're diving into. I mean, for years, NVIDIA has ruled the world of AI. Is that really about to change? They've built this incredible empire on silicon, but now, for what feels like the first time, a real challenger has stepped into the ring. And this isn't just some startup. They've got the money, the plan, and the tech to actually maybe pull it off.
All right, first things first, to really get why this is such a big deal, you have to understand just how dominant NVIDIA is. They're not just the undisputed king, they're basically the whole kingdom. See, they don't just sell chips. They've built this entire ecosystem around them that, until now, has been pretty much impossible for anyone to escape.
And you can tell even the king is starting to feel the pressure. When Google's success started making headlines, what did NVIDIA do? They came out and publicly said, "Don't worry, we're still a generation ahead." Now let's be real, companies don't say things like that unless they're looking over their shoulder and seeing that the competition is getting very close.
So, NVIDIA's real power? It's not just about having the fastest hardware. It's about this thing called the CUDA moat. Basically, it's this huge, powerful ecosystem of software, libraries, and tools that every AI developer knows and loves. It makes their chips super easy to use, but it also locks you in. If you're a developer, trying to switch to anything else has been an absolute nightmare. It's their secret weapon.
So who is this challenger brave enough to enter the ring? Well, it's Google, with their Tensor Processing Unit, or TPU. And here's the thing you have to remember. This isn't some brand new project. No, Google has been working on this, perfecting this technology for more than a decade.
In this timeline, this is really key to the whole story. See, Google started building these things for themselves way back in 2013. They saw the AI wave coming and knew they needed custom chips. For years, the TPU was their secret weapon, just for internal use. Then they started renting them out on the cloud. But look at that last date, 2025. This is a monumental shift. They're going from just renting TPUs to selling complete systems to other companies. That's not just a business move. That's a declaration of war.
Okay, but here's where the story gets really interesting. Google isn't just trying to play NVIDIA's game and build a chip that's, 5% faster. No, they're coming at this with a completely different strategy. They're attacking NVIDIA from a totally different angle.
Because it's not just about the chip. Look, I know everyone wants to pull up the spec sheets and compare speeds and feeds, but that's just scratching the surface. The real reason the TPU is such a threat to NVIDIA, it goes way deeper than the silicon.
And here's proof. Just look at these numbers. This is NVIDIA's brand new Blackwell chip compared to Google's latest TPU. T-flops, neck and neck. Memory bandwidth, pretty much the same. Memory capacity, identical. That huge performance advantage NVIDIA always had, poof, it's gone. The playing field on a chip-to-chip level is basically level now.
So where's the real advantage, right? I mean, if the chips are basically a tie, how is Google actually supposed to win this fight? Well, the answer comes down to two secret weapons that have nothing to do with raw chip performance.
Secret weapon number one is all about the money. Just look at this chart. It shows the total cost per hour to run these massive AI systems. Check out NVIDIA's cost, and now look at the TPU. It is a staggering 30 to 40% cheaper to run. In a world where AI labs are spending billions of dollars on compute, that isn't just an advantage, it's a total game changer.
And here's weapon number two, the system itself. Now, this diagram looks complicated, but the idea is actually pretty simple. Google doesn't just sell you a chip, they sell you the whole supercomputer. They've figured out this incredible way to connect thousands of their TPUs together into one giant efficient brain. It lets them build bigger, more flexible systems for less money than NVIDIA's approach.
All right, so the tech sounds impressive. The economics look great. But is anyone actually betting on this? Well, let's talk about Anthropic's billion-dollar bet. Anthropic, one of the biggest AI labs on the planet, the folks behind the Claude model, they are going all in on Google. I love this quote. The more TPU you buy, the more GPU you save. Think about what that means. Just the threat of a company like Anthropic switching to Google is enough to make NVIDIA lower their prices. This competition is already saving other labs a ton of money. It's fantastic. And speaking of money, $42 billion.
That is the estimated value of Anthropic's deal to use Google's TPUs. Let that sink in. This is the kind of number that should be keeping NVIDIA executives awake at night. This isn't some small experiment. It's a complete, fundamental shift in strategy for one of the world's most important AI companies.
And you don't have to take my word for it. You can see it right here in their own data. This chart shows Anthropic's plan for what hardware they're going to use. See the orange bit? That's NVIDIA. It's shrinking. Now look at the green bit. That's Google's TPUs. It's getting bigger and bigger. It's a clear, strategic shift away from NVIDIA. And just to be clear, we're not talking about abstract numbers on a slide deck. This right here, this is a satellite image of a massive, brand new data center. Its job? To house the TPUs for Anthropic. This is a huge physical investment. We're talking concrete and steel on an epic scale. So Google has a powerful 1-2 punch. Better economics and a superior system design. But that's not enough for knockout. To truly win this fight, they have to go after the champ's biggest strength, that final boss, NVIDIA's software. Because at the end of the day, hardware is only half the battle. You can have the best chip in the world, but if it's a pain to use, nobody will. The real war, the final battlefield, is for the loyalty of the developers. And for the first time, it looks like Google has a real plan. Just look at this chart. It shows how much Google is contributing to open-source AI software. See that massive spike? It's like a light bulb went off. They realized they can't beat the CUDA moat by forcing everyone to use Google's stuff. Instead, they're going to win by embracing and improving the open-source tools that developers already use and love. So what does that look like in practice? Well, here's their 3-step battle plan. First, they're making TPUs work seamlessly with PyTorch, which is by far the most popular AI framework out there. Second, they're making sure TPUs support all the key open-source libraries that people depend on. And third, they're opening things up, allowing developers to write their own custom high-performance code. It's a huge shift. They're not trying to fight the community anymore, they're joining it. So, let's put it all together. This is no longer a simple fight over who has the fastest chip. NVIDIA is now fighting a 3-front war. There's the economic threat. Google is just plain cheaper. There's the systems threat. Google's architecture is more scalable. And now, for the first time ever, there's a real, credible software threat designed to break that CUDA moat.
You know, for years, if you asked who could possibly challenge NVIDIA, the answer was always nobody. Well, that's over. The AI hardware throne now has a true challenger. The king is still on top, but for the first time, there's a real question about whether they'll be able to keep their crown. The race is on, and it's going to be fascinating to watch.